Now I'm going to show you a little bit about omega-3. So omega-3, there's actually three kinds of omega-3. This article, Why the Brain Needs Animal Fat. So this article from Psychology Today, it talks about the three kinds of omega-3. So your three kinds of omega-3 is ALA and EPA and DHA. So those are three kinds of omega-3. ALA is mostly found in your nuts and seeds. They're omega-3s that are kind of useless to us. Our body doesn't use it. We need to convert it to EPA and DHA. And EPA works for inflammatory and healing functions, and inflammation is a root cause of disease. And DHA is different. 2/3 of your brain is fat. 20% of that fat is DHA. Your eye retina is made of DHA. So if you actually, eye retina, DHA. Your eyes are actually omega-3, and if it's lacking omega-3, you start to experience dry eyes and itchy eyes. It's usually because of omega-3 deficiency. So that's why a lot of these optometrists might prescribe an omega-3 to their clients, to their patients. So that's your three kinds of omega-3. Now, EPA DHA has three functions. First one is cell structure. So maybe you remember this from bio class. I'm not going to try to make this too scientific, but there's something called a phospholipid bilayer on every cell. So you have a cell, and I want you to picture the cell, and the cell has a protective coating around it that protects stuff from getting inside and from stuff going outside. So that's kind of how your cell looks. And inside would be the stuff in the cell, but you have this layer in there. Now this phospholipid bilayer, this tail is actually made up of omega-3. And omega-3 is something that is called an essential fatty acid. So if your body doesn't produce omega-3, it cannot get it. It's not going to get it, and it'll start to make the fats from other things in your body, other things in your diet, like omega-6. And the problem with that is when you're lacking omega-3, well, now your cells are not as fluid, so they end up becoming hard, and like even artery hardening is a result of omega-3 deficiency. Now, omega-3 deficiency is such a big problem that it's actually one of the top causes of death in the US. So there was a report done by Harvard on the top 10 causes of death in the US, and they did, tobacco smoking, lack of exercise, etc. Omega-3 was number 6 on that list, higher than trans fat intake, as one of the top causes of top cause of death in the US. Omega-3 deficiency, number 6, even more severe than excess trans fat intake. So that's how important omega-3 is. Omega-3 is completely gone from our diet because we're eating fish from these fish farms where they're fed corn. They're not fed, they're not eating plankton and algae and other things that help them develop omega-3. So we're growing these fish in these fish farms. They're fed corn and soy and different pellets. And that's one of the reasons we're lacking omega-3. Another reason is our cows and stuff are not eating grass. They're being fed corn as well, so they're unable to develop omega-3. And so we're getting this omega-3 in the form of ALA, but this article talks about that ALA is really poor at converting it to EPA DHA. In fact, many studies show that it's 0%. So now, I hope you can see the importance of omega-3, but it's like, well, what omega-3 do I buy? So most people will go to Costco and they'll buy an omega-3. But Costco, the problem with Kirkland is Kirkland's not a science-based company. So in 2018 in the Seattle Times, this article came out where there's a lawsuit saying that their omega-3s don't even do what they say they're going to do because there's no, like the omega-3s rancid or maybe at a poor quality. Because in order for omega-3 to work properly, it has to be very pure. So one of the things about our omega-3s that makes it unique is this. So in 2016, a few researchers from the psychiatry department in Columbia University in New York had reached out to us after testing several omega-3s and finding out that our omega-3 was the purest out of all the commercially available omega-3s they tested. So our omega-3 talks about the sources right here, but OmegaLife 3 by Unicity International. And it was a double-blind placebo-controlled study showing on how it changes the function of your brain if you take omega-3, and they looked at the brain structure and how it plays a role in depression. And over here, it says polyunsaturated fatty acid supplements were donated by Unicity International. The funding sources had no involvement in study design, so we didn't fund it. We donated our omega-3s, but it was funded by these people, but they did interrupt the study. So this was a huge study in the space. Omega-3 is actually one of the very few supplements with over 26,000 human clinical trials. We are also the only supplement company that's non-pharmaceutical that has our omega-3 in this pharmaceutical reference. So our omega-3 and omega-3 Resolv's in here. And the reason why is because it's pure and there's no fishy aftertaste. A lot of people talk about fishy aftertaste. The reason why they get fishy aftertaste is because many times the omega-3 is oxidized and it's not pure, and the oil's gone rancid. So when they drink it, it's oxidized, and it can cause inflammation. Now we have an omega-3 Resolv, which we just filed a patent for. And what makes this omega-3 Resolv unique is that scientists have figured out that EPA and DHA, to put out inflammation, like it talks about in this article, anti-inflammatory, what they do is they produce these things called resolvins, and resolvins help to put out inflammation in our body. The problem is our body's very poor at converting EPA, DHA into resolvins. But our omega-3s is, so if the average omega-3 is a 3 to 5% conversion, ours is about a 30 to 50% conversion resolvin. So people that have joint pain, dry eyes, arthritic pain, they almost notice immediately a huge difference when they start to take these omegas in their joints. And that's because of the inflammation in it. The capsules are very tiny because they're very pure. And here's the last thing I want to show you. So this is the company we actually outsourced to get our omega-3s made by. They're based out of Norway. And they're the third largest omega-3 producer in the world. They produce only pharmaceutical grade omega-3s. They have a technology that produces the purest omega-3 oil in the world. So we take our formula and we get them to manufacture with their purity, with their KD Nutra technology. So you can read about it more here, about what their facility does and how it works. But pretty much they are a pharmaceutical company that manufactures the best quality omega-3 in the world. They're the leaders of it, and our Resolv is made by them.